Welcome to the New Mindset Podcast. This is Georgia.
And this is Jacob.
How is everyone going? I hope we're all well in the morning, the evening, the afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. Jacob, how are you going?
I am good.
You are good?
3 of 3 podcasts tonight.
3 out of 3. We're on a roll.
This is our third.
We're on a mojo.
And feeling good. I had a Coke earlier and it's starting to wear off now, so... but we're going to get through. And then I've got some content to do after. And yeah, I'm feeling good. How are you going?
Nice. Yes, it is past my bedtime.
9:50.
Yeah, 9:50 is past my bedtime.
Yep.
No, but exciting and very excited to, I guess, pre-record a few of these so that we have some things to share while we're overseas in Japan.
Yep.
But,
well,
yes,
I
it just
am
means...
testing my exposure therapy.
Yeah. And hopefully not experiencing something that we're going to talk about tonight.
Yes.
Yes, but I guess the pre-recording means that we're going to be able to have a holiday. We haven't really had in literally, I think, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
We haven't had a holiday.
Our last one was a cruise, I believe.
Yeah, like last proper holiday was a cruise.
Yeah.
Way back when. So we're well overdue for a holiday.
I think we were 18? How old were we? 18, 19?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Long time ago now.
That's crazy. What are we doing today?
But that's the future. Let's come back to the present moment.
Okay.
And talk,
Great.
Jacob, you, about a topic that you've pulled together entitled, What Does let me rephrase. What does a panic attack really feel like? Mm-hmm. What kind of made you bring this topic up?
I think for me it was, well, obviously I've shared that I've just been having an increase in panic attacks recently. It's sort of dropped off now that I've really looked after my anxiety in a somatic sense. But a lot of people out there may not even know that they're experiencing a panic attack because it's you just always you're so fight or flight that you sort of are familiar with that feeling, and when a panic attack happens, it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm always feeling like that. Or if someone's new to anxiety and they're just experiencing panic attacks recently, like this is to say you're not alone and what you're feeling is actually normal, and this is a science behind it. Because sometimes it's really scary and some people feel like, I'm going to die or I'm going to pass out. But it's like, okay, well, maybe if you can understand the science behind it, you're better able to rationalize it in the moment, which is the biggest key.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
And ground yourself, yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
That is okay.
I guess maybe can you share then? Can you start by maybe articulating why do panic attacks happen?
Yeah, cool. So it's going to be I'll just add some science in there. Just so
amongst your experience?
Amongst my experience, yeah. So basically when we produce greater amounts of adrenaline and cortisol, where it is not needed, e.g. like you at a shopping centre, me at a shopping centre, not needed. It's really not needed, but it's there. This then leads to a fight or flight. So, do I want to fight this experience or do I want to leave the shopping centre? Because something here is scary and I don't know what it is. And when it's difficult, it's so difficult to fight something that you don't even know is there or what it is, because your adrenaline's just pumping now and you've got no idea why am I scared? What should I be scared of? Have I got to be ready to fight? Have I got to be ready to run? And that's where the panic sort of starts to kick in and really, use the word exacerbate. It's like, why am I scared? I don't know. Like, have I got to be ready to run, fight? Don't know. Now I'm going to panic.
So there's a lot of uncertainty that brings around that panic.
100%.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome.
That was just a really nice, clean response that I wish I had the competency to be able to do.
That's a bit harsh.
Why?
You can do that.
Oh, I thought that was harsh on you. No, that's not harsh on you. That was harsh on me.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll get there with articulating things well. The next kind of thing, I guess, is after having a good idea about what it is and what the science is that's happening inside of us that brings about those panic attacks. what really does happen while we're in the middle of experiencing those
Yeah,
from
so
your experience?
I've listed a few down here, I think 5 or 6. That's not to say there's only 5 or 6 symptoms that you'll experience. You could experience any number of these things. You could experience none of these things. I've only just listed the main ones that, I've got some experience in, or I've helped people that have experience in these. So our heartbeat is increased. And essentially, that's a normal response to fear. And it basically just sends more blood to our muscles, which is why when you're in a panic attack, you may feel this big sense of overwhelm of heat in your body. Like you get hot, you start sweating. I know that, clammy hands, that's just the blood rushing to your hands. I know for me, I do get heated, and that's just, it's such a gross feeling. It's a scary feeling because, do you remember, have you ever been so scared that your body sort of heats up? Do you remember that sort of feeling? I don't know if you've ever experienced it.
I can experience that with diabetes.
Yep,
which sounds really weird. But yeah, when I go really, really low, I get super sweaty and hot and flustered. So I understand the physical sensation you're talking about.
Yeah, so I'd say for me, that's one of the main ones, just when your body heats up, and it's scary because you know that you're having a panic attack now.
Yes.
And that's sort of the scarier thing with it. And it's so weird. I didn't have a panic attack for 10 years after my first few. But like I've said previously, the somatic side hit me like a truck from the side because talk therapy no longer works with it. And I failed to implement my 1% efforts for a period of time, so I kind of deserved it as much as it hurts to say. The second one would be our breath. Now, this is an interesting one. I don't have experience with this, but I know a lot of people do. When they have a panic attack, their breath becomes shallow, becomes fast and shallow. So essentially, that's your lungs trying to breathe in more oxygen. And because of that urgency that can cause more panic. And just that feeling and sensation of your chest going up and down, quick. Partner that with, heartbeat, heat, sweaty hands. Even when I'm talking about it, it's sort of, you can feel those sensations, which is uncomfortable. So it sucks, that feeling, the breath. And I should say now, I should have said it at the start, this podcast is purely talking about what you experience with panic attacks. We have done a podcast in the past and have a lot of social media posts about how to avoid a panic attack in the first place or get out of the panic attack itself. We're just going to be talking about the actual panic attack itself today. So we're not going to provide any tips or anything today on how to get out of one or prevent one. We've already done that. I just thought that is important to say.
Yeah, exactly. If you're hanging out for those practical tips, they are already there in a previous episode. Yes. And check out our Instagram as well because they're scattered throughout those Instagrams.
Yeah, and then, exciting, we're going to program soon released. So I'm planning an 8-week sort of program that's in editing. And you're going to do one on confidence. I believe a lot I am keen for that. Maybe when everything, dies down in our sort of personal life, we can get into that. Like I said earlier, the adrenaline, but greater amounts of adrenaline in the body tightens the stomach muscles. This is what I'm talking about when I speak about somatic. That causes stomach distress because now your intestines are in fight or flight. Now, when your intestines are in fight or flight, that makes it really, really challenging to, 1, stop the panic attack and 2, prevent it because talk therapy no longer works with your intestines, obviously. So you can try to talk to your stomach all you want, but typically that makes your panic even greater because you realize my talking is not even working. So essentially, if you're in that state, you've kind of honestly just got to ride that one out because, unless you can control your breathing, which is really challenging to do if you don't have practice at it, you've kind of just got to ride that wave out. I've found... So I'll just share my experience quickly. So I had a panic attack in public, somatic-wise, and that sort of stuck with me. And then coupled that with lactose intolerance, it sort of jumped on the back of each other. And yeah, I've been able to... Sorry, I will add a little practical tool. I've been able to just overall just calm your body whenever you can. So stretching every day. If meditating works for you, it doesn't work for me. But if it works for you, awesome. Journaling, eat foods and drinks that aren't going to stress you out and cause greater levels of cortisol. Control your sleeping. You know what to do. We've listened to another podcast, but I thought that would just be smart to share. But basically, when your intestines are in fight or flight, that is bloody scary. Dry mouth. This was interesting. I didn't know the science behind dry mouth. But dry mouth is caused by the body prioritizing other areas that they believe the threat may be in. So basically, your heart pumping more blood takes priority over saliva. So, yeah, I found that interesting.
Yeah.
And dry mouth is really common. Like, I'm getting it now a little bit, talking about it, I think, for whatever reason. But it's...
Or cotton mouth as well, some people call it.
Okay.
I
I haven't heard of that.
Just like your mouth is, dry, like cotton has been swabbed and, all saliva's gone.
Yeah, and obviously that's not a bloody comfortable feeling either.
No.
Like, it's,
Gross.
Yeah. So dry mouth's a big one. But it makes sense, your body is trying to basically perform at a much higher level to keep you safe. And so it's going to shut down the breath. Sorry, not the breath, the saliva, because it's not necessary in that moment. This is one for you. Your blood sugar levels will spike due to the epinephrine, which is the hormone responsible for adrenaline. I don't understand the science behind that. Not yet. I want to research that. But the blood sugar levels, so can you talk to me more about that? What happens when your blood sugar levels spike, like in a mental capacity? Because I know when you're low, I've seen you when you're low, you become a little lightheaded and drowsy, and I'd even say a little just negatively emotion-wise. But what happens when you...
Yeah, when my sugar levels are low, I feel like I it's the weirdest thing, but I feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh my God, what is happening to me? And I've experienced those same like heat. You said that, didn't you?
Yes.
I was just trying to find it there. But yeah, heat is what I experience. But when I'm hot, when my blood sugar levels are high, I have this, foggy judgment. I can't focus clearly. I've got to kind of lie down, sit down, close my eyes and reorient myself. I just feel as though that I'm out of it. Yeah, that kind of thing. Or like I really can't focus and I can't give my 100% focus and attention to whatever it is that I need to be doing. So when you're high, like this is just diabetes, a little diabetes fun fact. But when you run yourself high for too long, you're really not operating at a very good level.
Yeah.
In terms of just being a human being. So please don't do that.
Yeah.
All the diabetics out there, please don't permanently run yourself high. It's not healthy.
Type 1.
Yes, I'm type 1. Type 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that changes for type 2, but just to be...
Yeah.
We should have a
that's good to
podcast on
clarify.
diabetes because it's unfortunately becoming more and more common.
Yes.
Yes. Is that type 1 or type 2? I know type 2 is becoming more common. Is type 1 or is that just...
I guess not that it's
stagnating?
becoming more... it's not that it's becoming more common, but it's... Yeah, there's a significant diagnoses, especially in Australia today.
With type 2?
Every single day in type 1.
Oh.
Across all ages. Yeah.
We'll find out probably in 50 years why that is.
Yeah, exactly. No one knows now. But I remember doing a workshop with people and I was the second youngest, but I had diabetes the second longest.
Yeah.
So there was like a lot of people that are older than me that like, there was this 45-year-old woman who was diagnosed 2 years ago.
And would she have lived with diabetes for years?
No. Like she was 42 and diagnosed when she was 40.
And it just kicked in?
It just kicked in.
Kicked in,
Yes.
Jeez, okay.
But anyway, yeah. The cortisol is closely linked to blood sugar. So
Sorry, adrenaline?
Oh yeah, sorry. Cortisol and adrenaline.
Yep, okay.
Closely linked to blood sugar levels spiking.
Stress? Is that right?
Stress, yeah.
Okay. I didn't write that down. I wrote adrenaline. I didn't know if cortisol also did.
Well, stress does, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you're stressed out, your blood sugar levels sky high. So if you're stressed as a diabetic, like you either you'll see that reflected in your blood sugar levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I suppose it's important for you guys to also, like similar to what I was saying with somatic, to calm your environment, calm your body.
Yeah.
As much as as much as anyone.
Well, yeah, there was a period of time where in the mornings I'm sorry, this is turning into diabetes, but I guess fun facts. There was a period of time where I would wake up in the mornings really stressed out and I would need to have my short-acting insulin straight away to lower my levels to be in range just because I woke up stressed.
Yeah, jeez.
So, yeah, super important. I guess in an internal way, people without diabetes wouldn't know that being stressed spikes your levels because that's all happening internally for you automatically from your systems, your internal systems. Thank you, beta cells, for functioning. But for normal everyday people, it's really important to manage your stress levels.
And if anyone is a type diabetic and just want to vent, message George on Insta.
Yeah, come reach out. Let's
happy to.
talk about diabetes brain
we should
together.
do a podcast on it.
But sorry, back to panic attacks.
My last symptom of panic attacks that you sometimes feel, this probably is after many panic attacks in a row, but sudden changes in blood pressure, that actually causes dizziness or lighthead, like for you to be lightheaded. So if you've felt any of those, that's just your blood pressure is changing dramatically, essentially. I know that doesn't help you in the moment, but I feel as though to be able to rationalize a feeling in your body is half the battle for me. And if it works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, it's all right. We'll keep going. We'll keep trying. But yeah, that's a massive thing.
Yeah, right.
Cool. Yeah, and there's many more that we could touch on, but
for now,
can you think of any more? I think the other one I would say is tight muscles. Like I regularly have got the tightest muscle. I remember going to chiropractors and acupuncturists and things like that when I was younger. And it was just like, you've got the tightest back we've ever felt. And it was like, I wonder why that is. And now, like looking back on it, it's like, well, I was just stressed and anxious all the time. Yeah. So that's just your muscles carry stress. Yeah. Which we're now learning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's why stretching is key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. Speaking of learning things every day, you've written a phrase here that I haven't heard of before.
Yep.
A rolling panic attack.
Yes.
Can you elaborate, please?
Yeah, because I was just reflecting on, when I have a panic attack, no one of them are really big. I have multiple at the one time. And I had a look into it, and they're called rolling panic attacks. So multiple panic attacks, essentially this is what a rolling panic attack is. Multiple attacks of different intensities that occur over a few hours. Essentially, the body has remained in fight or flight well after the actual, stressor event. So, for instance, if, you went to an appointment in the afternoon, the classic 2 p.m. appointment, and you're an anxious person, you're anxious from 7 a.m. whenever you wake up to 2 p.m.
Waking.
And then you get there and it's like, I'm all right. And then after it, you're having these panic attacks, then one after the other, and your body basically is just constant. It hasn't left that feeling of dread and fight or flight. And I experienced that, it might have been 6 months ago. We were just driving. And I was just sitting in the car and it was just like, intensity was crazy. And it was like every 2 minutes on and off. And it was just hitting me in the stomach and just, this urge to go to the toilet was just hit me. It was like being punched in the stomach. And it was tough. But yeah, rolling panic attack, that's a thing.
Yeah, wow.
Not good.
That doesn't sound great.
No. Like, I don't have the big
recommend it.
full-blown ones. Full-blown panic attack. But yeah, I've got the little rolling ones that just...
The many that happen over
little
time.
punches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Which
great.
is... No, not ideal, no. No. And then I wanted to probably finalise the podcast with, like, our personal experiences with panic attacks. Because I know that you've had one or two that we've shared, but if you haven't heard it yet, it'd probably be good just to touch on it. From, because I know when I've got anxiety, when my anxiety's up and I'm really wanting to, sort of just listen to someone else's perspective, it can be tough to find people that open up about their panic attacks because it's not something that you ordinarily would share with people because it's sort of got that shame stigma behind it. But more people, like, you go for a walk in the city and, it would be crazy the amount of people that you would see that have experienced panic attacks or are currently in a panic attack.
Yeah, so true.
So let's hear what you got. What was your experience? I know you've got a few.
Yeah, I guess maybe one that I can think about was one that was work related.
Yep.
Probably about 12 months ago now. A colleague and I were given the opportunity to travel for work to kind of observe and increase our knowledge of the company.
Yep.
So we arrived, we were at the airport, we were ready to go. We were literally a few meters away from our door to go board the flight, and we missed our flight. The lady literally closed the door in our faces and was like, "You're too late." Mm-hmm. And it was like, it was a work flight. You know, they paid for the flight. They told us to be there. They gave us all the information, and this friend and I just looked at each other and we were just like, "What do we do?"
Is that when the panic kicked in, or was it before that?
The panic kicked in. It was almost like this sense of disbelief of like, did this woman actually just not let us board this flight? And a part of it, the disbelief also came from, we were literally down the laneway a little bit, we just had a coffee, we arrived there so early so this wouldn't happen, and we were just having a cup of coffee. We didn't hear it overboard, and we were like, "Oh, okay, we've got to get to our door at this time," not really realizing that the time that we had to get to the door was actually the cut-off time of checking your luggage.
Yep.
Because this particular airline, you had to weigh every single check-in bag. Yeah, and I remember calling you or texting you or something, and I was like, what do I do? Because I had just this intense fear, this, oh my goodness, I've disappointed people, I've let people down, I can't believe that I've done this. You know, this is an awful first impression. They've scheduled this whole entire day for us to arrive at midday. Now we're going to arrive in the afternoon, and it's just, you know, I've ruined everyone's days. All of these kinds of thoughts.
Yeah, your panic was sort of driven and fueled by shame and guilt.
Shame, guilt, and
disbelief.
Disbelief, and I'll throw in disappointment in there too.
Anger.
Like I disappointed the company. I disappointed you for some reason. I disappointed my parents because of some reason.
Yeah.
You know, that
a lot of different emotions came in one big wave.
And I just like sat in this physical state of like my stomach was just in knots. And I think the overall emotion was like, I genuinely cannot believe that this has just happened.
You were just... Was it like a numbing feeling?
Yeah. I just did not know what to feel.
Well, can you tell us, like, out of those symptoms that I spoke about before, do you remember what you felt physically?
I think it was
you said, stomach churning.
A little bit. It was almost like it was there, and then it was just like this hollow emptiness inside. That sounds so sad. But
in your chest?
Yeah.
Yeah,
in my chest. Like my heart wanted to beat, but it was almost like it was frozen.
Yeah.
It was like this, like I couldn't breathe.
So your breath became
It's not
shallow.
that it wasn't that my breath was shallow. It was just like there was no breath happening. I was like, oh, okay, I've got to breathe. Yeah. Stomach was definitely in knots. That definitely happened. My blood sugar levels, look, they probably skyrocketed at that point.
So would you say the adrenaline went to your stomach? If your stomach was in overdrive and in knots?
I would say that it more went to my chest.
Okay.
Because I wasn't breathing.
Yep.
And it was just like my heart stopped beating. That was kind of the feeling and the sensation.
Yeah, I think essentially you were just feeling shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like...
And it just lasted a while.
You just had all this wave of negative emotion like you just shared.
Yeah.
All to the point of disappointing your parents who had...
absolutely nothing to do with it. And I actually don't think that they know that happened.
No, and just rationally, it's just you missed a flight because you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a panic attack and anxiety just can latch onto anything. Do you remember how you sort of got through it? Like, how'd you calm yourself?
Literally called our boss.
Yep.
And he just said, and my friend and I were like, what do we do? We're so sorry. And he's like, is there another flight? I was like, yeah. get on the flight.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was literally it.
Yeah.
And he's still my boss, and he's the best boss ever because he's literally what I need in terms of we'll get through and, it's going to get done. Why stress if we know that the outcome is going to be good?
Yeah.
Whereas I'm stressed about everything. So, or every little minute thing, and I just want everything to be perfect.
But I think there's a lesson in how you approached it, though. It's because someone with anxiety, I know, often avoids, but you didn't avoid like the monster that you were scared of being your boss.
Yeah.
And it's not a monster, but in that moment, he was the monster that you were frightened of because of your error.
Yeah.
But you just went straight to it, to the source, and you beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all that adrenaline, all that stress would have been, and anxiety just lifted off your shoulders. But then 100%. You probably would have felt that exhaustion on the flight because of the state that you were just in.
Yeah, well, we did it, and it was after we did the whole check-in process again. We sat right at our gate, and we just had a bit of a breath. We were it felt as though we were finally able to exhale. It was like we were holding our breath that whole entire time.
Yeah.
And then we laughed about it. We were like, that woman closed the door in our face. Ha, 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 ha. Like we weren't laughing to start with, but we finally found the humour in it. Yeah. Which was nice.
Yeah. The joy after in a panic, the joy after an anxiety win is crazy.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it wasn't hard.
True.
Doesn't mean it wasn't hard.
No, that was terrifying.
What
about you?
I think I've shared mine enough. I think I've shared a lot of mine.
You have. You definitely have.
Yeah, just the rolling panic attacks is something that I was probably newly introduced to, which is frightening. But it's also exciting because it's like if I can overcome it, then I can help, people in future that we see that come and see us. So, yeah, they're all just learning. Yeah. And that panic attack, you're not diagnosed with anxiety or anything like that. You just felt a normal anxiety, the emotion itself.
No.
And chaos and stress and disbelief.
And they're just normal human emotions.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But yeah, I was...
Well, case closed.
Case closed, bruh. But if you if that resonates with you at all, go and listen to how to prevent them in the first place because no one likes a panic attack. Yeah.
I was just trying to see if I had a number. There we go, episode 14.
Ooh, good pickup.
There you go.
Episode 14.
Go and check out that one.
And we've got a few Instagram posts on it that are obviously less in detail, but, they're still helpful tips if you cannot listen to a full podcast.
Yeah, or another one that I'm just putting out there, episode 12 and episode 16.
What was 12?
12 was Where Does Anxiety Start? That was a nice lengthy one, but it was talking about the starts and the origins of anxiety. And 16 was Anxiety is Catching Fire.
Yeah, that was all about the convenience in our lives and how that's sort of
that was
fueling our anxiety.
Yeah, personal experience in there too. So
that was a good one.
I agree. Yeah, like if today's, this morning's, this afternoon's, middays episode that you're listening to right now resonates, go and check out those.
Yes, very good.
Love it.
And pray for me because I am currently in Japan, probably on a train packed full of people, testing out my exposure therapy.
Yes.
Checkout question?
Yes.
Got one for me?
I have one.
Yep.
Because we did a little movie review before. I'm in the mindset of movies.
Yes.
One movie that I am in the mindset of is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Don't ask me why. But that was a movie that came to my mind.
Yep.
I want to know if you had to be exiled as one of the children, which departure from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory would you like to leave as?
Oh, this is such a bad question because I don't know Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
What? You don't know it?
I know,
we've got Augustus Gloop.
I know some fat kid gets sucked up.
Yeah, we've got Violet Beauregard.
How did the girl go with the chewing gum?
Yeah, that was Violet.
How did she go?
She had to get pumped and juiced out.
Oh, God, no, I don't want that.
And then she got stretched.
Give us another one. What's another one?
We've got Veruca Salt.
Yep.
She was
a brat.
She was thought that she was a nut because the squirrels thought her head was a nut.
All right, I'll cut it short. I'll go with the...
Or Mike TV.
Augustus Gloop because... Gloop?
Gloop.
Because he got to swim in a chocolate river.
There you go.
Like, that river looks so good from memory. I never liked the train scene with all the weird colourful.
Oh, yes.
That made me sick.
Yes.
When I was younger, it turned me off the whole movie. What about you?
Charlie Bucket.
Oh, that's
He
a bit of a
gets the
cop-out answer.
whole. He gets the whole thing.
Bit of a cop-out answer.
I thought you'd be smart and you'd choose that one.
Okay, that's fair. Good pick.
Thank you.
Good pick.
Well, thanks everyone for
Thank
listening,
you, everyone.
tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Yes, we'll see you soon.
Take care.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.